In the previous episode, we attempted the DOG, the Devourer of Gods, and we didn't do very well. And in today's episode, I've already killed him. That's right, I'm actually just right off the heels of defeating the boss, and I'm gonna let you see the boss in its entirety. It was very difficult, and I will explain the things I did different and see if you can catch them. Actually, you know what? Let's explain them now, and then that way the fight will make more sense to you guys. So I swapped a couple things out. I went and farmed Poltergeist to try and use the Banshee hook, which was recommended. And then I got the Terror Blade too, and I tried that out. More on that in a moment. I also tried the Insidious Impaler. This is actually not a bad weapon for this boss, and I think it's really, really good. But the most success that I had was with the Terror Blade, which, you know, it bounces projectiles, right? So like if I fire one, it does that. That effect has basically no effect on this fight. But when the boss is coming at you and you can fire your projectiles like this and they pierce infinitely through the boss, it seems, that's a lot of damage, especially with adrenaline and whatnot. So I ended up thinking that the Insidious Impaler, even though I didn't re-roll it, was really good. And heck, so is the Banshee hook. But I ended up going with the Terror Blade because I had the most luck with it. I was doing the most damage with it. I felt the most in tune with it. Maybe it's because the projectiles meant that I could see the projectiles I needed to dodge a little better compared to, I don't know, say the Soul's Edge, which has like the white projectiles, which are very similar to the ones that we see in the second phase. And then I also think Death's Ascension is great. So like either way, if you do Death's Ascension, Soul Edge, Terror Blade, Banshee Hook, or the Impaler, those weapons are going to be your weapons to do. I ended up going back to the Celestial Shell rather. And I'm using the Menacing Affliction as opposed to the Ascendant Insignia, which I'm going to swap out here. I actually think the Insignia just sucks for this fight. Don't even use it. But the Menacing Affliction is a really nice defense thing. And you know what? It gives you a bunch of HP restoration and whatnot as well. Okay, without further ado, here's the fight. So I was really excited to get that boss dead because I wasn't expecting to kill it on that attempt. And I will say I had been playing for an hour and a half. I'm over 2 hours at this point playing the game after doing that and then coming in and starting this video. And I have some thoughts on DOG, and I think my thoughts probably echo what I have said before or something similar. And I'm really curious if I go back and watch my previous playthroughs of Calamity if I say the same thing. Basically, this is an endurance fight. It is a very long fight. You have to get to the end, but to get there, you have to endure quite a lot. However, that second phase has some pretty complex dodges going on in it. And that's a whole thing that I really suck at, and I got lucky in that attempt to dodge the stuff that I did. Basically, when it did the grids, I was trying to stay relatively in one place and move from there, and if I was just like, I'm not going to be able to dodge this, I just bounce out with the normality relocator. So with that in mind, I am really agitated at this fight after an hour and a half of playing it, including what I did in yesterday's episode, because the fight, while it is a fight of endurance, you're trying to get to the end of the fight. When you get to the later phases and they have new stuff for you to learn, it takes so long to get back to those points to learn those things because the fight is just a long fight. And normally that's kind of part of the thing with an endurance fight. Really nothing wrong with it. It's just one of the downsides of an endurance fight. As a person who raided competitively in World of Warcraft for a very long time, I'm used to this. I'm not complaining about the endurance fight aspect of it. What I am complaining about on this in particular is it does so much damage that it can 1 or 2 shot you very quickly. And I'm playing melee with 166 defense, 171 when I'm out over here next to the statue. And then while I was using the Menacing Affliction, it gives me an additional 7% damage reduction, 10% max life, 13 defense, and health per second. So this thing is pretty nice to have, but even with all of that, I was dying in 1 or 2 shots often. And it would be, I get clipped by a projectile, and then I either get clipped immediately by another projectile, or the boss comes and hits me, and then I'm just dead. So you could get so far into the fight and then just immediately die, and there was nothing you could really recover there. It just kind of happens, and then that's the end of it. And that is the part where I'm like, ugh. I really, really disliked that. I like endurance fights. I think they're cool. What is it? Mutant in Fargo Soul Mod is an endurance fight. There's a lot to learn in it, and it gives you the opportunity to learn it, and you know that you're in it for the long run. But outside of a couple mechanics that you learn to watch out for, because they're things that you've seen in the rest of the mod, you don't really have major one-shot stuff. And I think that's important to note, is that being able to get 1-shot or 2-shot is just brutal. It's just brutal for a fight like that. And it started devouring the fun. All right, let's open this up. So what did we get? We got the magic weapon, the ranged weapon, both ranged weapons. I didn't get the melee weapon. I do believe, hit the wrong button there. Do believe that the melee weapon is, that's the rogue one. Yeah, so the melee, they have the yo-yo, which I think would be rad to use. They have the Excelsius, which fires a spread of spinning blades, summons laser fountains on hit. That sounds so cool. And then the Cosmic Discharge. Striking an enemy with the whip causes glacial explosions and grants the player the Cosmic Freeze buff. This buff gives the player increased life regen while standing still and freezes enemies near the player. It's kind of cool. So there's 3 items that I haven't gotten there, which kind of sucks. But what we do get instead, so we get the Nebulous Core, 10% increased damage, and then summons. Right? It's okay. You will survive an attack that would have killed you and be healed to 100 HP. Pretty nice for this fight, not gonna lie. For a refight, yeah. So summoning floating nebulous stars to protect you is, I don't know. Is this how good is this gonna be? I don't know. Oh, right, things run into those. Ooh, I remember that from our previous summoner playthrough now. Just kind of came to me. Oh, I was almost out of potions. Oh my goodness, I ran out of my good ones too. Not surprised. All right, we got Cosmolite. This is the big thing. So with Cosmolite, we can make the Asgardian Aegis. And with the Aegis, we get the Ram Dash, empowered by Cosmic Inferno. Dash can slam through enemies without taking damage. Obviously, really good. Just in general, it's just an improved version of what we got. Grants immunity to knockback and fire blocks. Grants immunity to the vast majority of debuffs, including Godslayer Inferno. So we can use that as a refight thing for the DOG. Which, you know what, we're probably going to do. We can make the Elysian Tracers. Now, these all require the Ascended Spirit Essences, which I believe are the things. Yeah, so we need to do the events in order to really get anything out of this. Kind of important to note. But hey, we're gonna be able to make a lot of stuff all of a sudden. The Absorber, the Sponge is, I remember, being quite good. Whether or not we end up using it, who knows? Oh, the Amalgam. I remember this item. I love this item. Maybe we end up making that. I don't think we have the Amalgamated Brain, though, do we? Maybe we do. And then what stuff could we do? That's a mana thing. We got the Godslayer stuff, which, again, we need the essence in order to use. We can make the Cosmic Anvil, which I believe I should do right off the bat, or have to, either way. Let's go Cosmic. And look at the Anvil. What am I missing here? Galactica Singularities. I needed 12, right? So let's get that. And then any hard mode Anvil. Well, we got the Orichalcum Anvil. So pop that in there. Craft. All right. Got our Cosmic Anvil. Which is really nice. An otherworldly anvil capable of withstanding the pressures of stellar collapse. Cool. Got a lot of stuff here. Got the armor. I can't make the armor yet, right? Because I need the essence yet. Fishing power. Just gonna look through. This gets into the cool stuff that we don't have. The recipes for, like the Phase Slayer. Projects a colossal laser blade, which is controlled by the cursor. Move the cursor to swing the blade and rip and tear through enemies. Faster swings deal more damage. Release additional sword beams. When at low charge, the blade becomes smaller and weaker. I think it'd be cool to go get that recipe. It's gonna take a while. That's like a whole episode in itself of just getting all the crafted stuff for all the mechanical magic. Lots of magic stuff here. Like a lot of magic stuff. All right, here we go. Ataraxia. I can't do it yet. I need to fight the next boss. Cosmic Shiv. This is an upgrade, right? On the elemental Shiv, which you can make right away. Fires a cosmic beam that homes in on enemies. Upon hitting an enemy, a barrage of off-screen objects home in on the enemy, as well as raining stars. Actually might be good to get right now. Devil's Devastation fires a spread of demonic scythes. Pitchforks rise from the underworld to skewer your foes. Critical hits cause shadow flame explosions. Damn, that sounds cool too, but we need nightmare fuel. What's this? The knives there's a flurry of bouncing knives that can heal the user. All right, it's an upgrade on the vampire knives. Do I have the monstrous knives? Probably not. Again, I need more stuff here. Essence Flare shoots an essence scythe that generates healing spirits on enemy hits. Oh yeah, the Galaxia. This seems cool. It just looks cool. I think we should use that one. The Galaxy Smasher, which is the upgrade on our hammer. Throws a heavy gravity affected hammer that will return to you after striking an enemy. Consecutive hits summon more and more cosmic hammers. After hitting 8 times, the hammer supercharges itself with galactic energies, delivering an apocalyptic strike that reverberates through space and time. The Order Bringer. Oh my goodness. They're just like, hey, you know all of like the weapons that you ever thought you wanted in this mod? Here they are. The Order Bringer fires a rainbow blade that emits rainbow rain on death for a time. A pale white sword from a forgotten land. You can hear faint yet comforting whispers emanating from the blade. No matter where you may be, you are never alone. I shall always be at your side, my lord. Cool. Prismatic Breaker. Rainbow Laser. Okay. Scourge of the Cosmos. There's a bouncing cosmic scourge that emits tiny homing cosmic scourges on death. Oh my goodness, there's a lot going on with this. And then the Enforcer spawns essence flames on hits. And then we finally get into the ranged. Okay, so what I think I'm gonna do Did I already put those in there? I believe so. Let's get rid of, well, basically every weapon in my inventory that I was not using for that fight anymore. Because I don't think it's worth having a weapon that I don't think I'm going to actually use. Right? Okay, so let's make the Cosmic Shiv. That's the first one. I think this is probably just going to be a great initial weapon to have with us. And for refighting the DOG. And I can't make this, so I think that's probably going to be the one that I use. Although this sounds cool. Shoots a essence light that generates healing sprays for spirits. Right, let's go reroll this to legendary, maybe? I don't even know what the best is for the Cosmic Shiv. Or for the other Shivs, for that matter. I think I just went with, yeah, let's just go with legendary, sure. All right, let's check this thing out. Should we test it on DOG? Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna keep this on and not do the menacing affliction. And oh, get off my booty. Why is it raining? Get out of here, rain. All right. Let's try this boss fight with the weapon and see how that goes. But I'm gonna have to do some events in the meantime. Is the rain actually stopping? I'm gonna have to turn it off. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it might be really good, but it's hard to tell. It's doing quite a lot of damage, but it's not doing like an insane amount more than what I was doing, if any at all. I mean, my damage that I was doing before was kind of crazy, especially when the boss would run at me. This doesn't necessarily have that same effect. I mean, but it's really good. I think it's consistent damage, that's for sure. It's consistently doing something. Oh my goodness, I hate when that happens. That happened to me so many times over the last 2 hours. I hate it. Yeah, I like this weapon. I think it would be fairly good versus the oh my goodness. Versus the events too. Just clear out the events, get the other stuff, get Godslayer armor, which I'm sure would help out a lot. And then we can always go back to doing gotta focus for a second here. Lots of dodging. All right. Went to the next phase, didn't even need to heal there. Or, oh no, we didn't go into the next phase. I hate when it does that too. I'm not doing nearly as much damage as I was with the other weapon. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and die now that we know that this Elemental Shiv may not be the weapon for the refight. I mean, we got a lot of weapons to craft, and all I need to do is the events. I think I do the armor first, maybe? Nah. I know I was complaining about like getting one hit, but I don't think the armor is really gonna make a huge difference there. I think it would be better for me to make an insane weapon. I actually think the hammer might be pretty good. So I think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna make the hammer. So I'm gonna do the events. I'm gonna make the hammer, and we'll see where that goes potentially. Let's just see how much further I can make it in this fight. Because if I could get the refight done now, that would be great. Because I'm definitely gonna need more bars. Nope, didn't last very long. Oh well. Okay, so yeah, I gotta do the events. Maybe I do this between episodes and then get a bunch of upgrades, so that way we can move on to what is next. Yaron? Yep. I think this weapon actually might be pretty good versus Yaron. But I don't know. I like it. Let me know which of those weapons I was showing off you guys think is the best. Because again, I read every single comment, and I like hearing where your guys' thoughts are on different weapons, because it gets me to kind of go in a direction of what to try first and whatnot. But I'm using a weapon that I don't know if anybody actually recommended. I know people recommended the Banshee Hook. I'm not really sure about the Terror Blade. I used it to kill DOG, and it was my best weapon, so I don't know. I'm all over the place.